Sort of the entrepreneurial equivalent of somebody who is going to be telling us, I'm not happy with what you've done. And the thing to understand is that that's really what they're saying. They're saying, I'm not happy with what you've done. So I encourage you to listen, but listen to it that way. Don't listen to it as, I'm not happy with you, you suck, and here's why. No matter what words they use, understand that what they're really saying is they're not happy with what has been done or not done for them on their behalf. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Cash Flow Podcast, where we're going to talk about everything related to the money in your small business. I'm your host, Pam, and without further ado, we're going to jump right into our episode. Welcome back. Here we go with part 2 of our client series. I'm glad to have you back here. Last week we talked about 3 things to do to minimize client turnover. This week, we're going to talk about 3 things to do if you have a client crisis. Has it happened to me? Yes. Have I had clients leave me unhappily? Yes. So I want to share some of that experience because it's part of the reality of what we do out here. Now, I'm talking specifically about services, but all this could apply to products as well. But what do you do if a client's unhappy? I call this a client crisis. It may be, it may not be. But the first thing you want to do is really understand what's wrong. And that is to listen. When a client is unhappy, it's very easy to get triggered. I know for me. Now, I'm speaking for myself. If this does not apply to you, I apologize. But I'm assuming that most of the world is like me in this. If we work for a company, it might be that we are not really great at getting that negative feedback when we're told by a supervisor that we need improvement in an area. This is sort of the entrepreneurial equivalent of somebody who is going to be telling us, I'm not happy with what you've done. And the thing to understand is that that's really what they're saying. They're saying, I'm not happy with what you've done. So I encourage you to listen, but listen to it that way. Don't listen to it as, I'm not happy with you, you suck, and here's why. No matter what words they use, understand that what they're really saying is they're not happy with what has been done or not done for them on their behalf. And if you can keep that trigger, for me, I feel that trigger as a flush of adrenaline being moving up my body, through my heart, into my neck, and I feel everything get hot, and I want to react. When I feel that now, I see it and recognize it much earlier than I used to, is I just take a deep breath and go, now, whatever they're going to tell me is something they're true with, and they have every right to be unhappy with whatever that is. And I listen. When I listen, the second thing I do is evaluate. So thing 1 is I listen, thing 2 is I evaluate. And usually with me, I don't know if this applies to you, the first thing I go through when I evaluate is all the things they did wrong. They didn't read their emails. They didn't answer a question fast enough. I gave them this and they didn't look at it. They misread something. They. I give myself a chance to get all the theys out of my system. And then I remind myself what I used to tell my team at work. In all the years I was in corporate as a leader, one of the lines I was famous for was, there is no we or they. If you're on this team, you cannot ever use the term they except to give credit. Okay? So if you want to say something like, they, fantastic job at that, and we all look so much better as a result. That's okay. But whenever you're having a discussion about something difficult, you're not allowed to use the word they. Well, they do this, and they did that, and they forgot this, and they clearly woke up this morning with their only intention being to piss you off. That's not allowed. So I remind myself of that after I go through all the theys quietly in my head. What have I done? What did I do to generate that response from them? What did we do together that got us here? And once I get through all the theys, if I don't stop in the theys, and there are plenty of times where I have not gotten beyond the theys, I will tell you that, and that never ends well. But if I get through all the theys to the what did I do wrong, what did we do wrong together, then you can often diagnose the problem and say, hey, oh, this is what's going on. We need to improve blah, 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 blah. And would that help you then feel better about where we are? Or even if the situation is such that you are 90% sure it is all them and 10% you, at least you're acknowledging the 10% that's you. And I will tell you that every time I've done that, even where it's tilted like that, where it really, there is a lot on the other person's part that's caused the problem, and we're going to get to that in number 3, by the way, I've always learned something. I've always taken something away from it to say, I need to fix this, which is valuable information as an entrepreneur. We're always looking for information every single day that helps us make better decisions. And that piece of information helps us make better decisions. So thing 1, listen. Separate yourself in that listening from personal attack and recognize recognize the person you're listening to is attacking a thing or an event or a perception, not you personally. Second thing is evaluate and get yourself past all the theys to where you actually start to assess how you contributed to the particular problem. Now, here's why that's all important for number 3. Number 3 is you have to decide. Listen, evaluate, decide. Sound familiar? It's a pretty clear pattern. LED. You got to decide whether you want to put up with this anymore. Is it really one of those problems where it is 90% something that you cannot solve on the part of the person who's complaining? Or is it something where, wow, we're really broken and we need to fix it? If it's something where we're really broken and we need to fix it, and this is the right kind of client for you, then sure, go ahead and fix the thing and make the client happy. But if this indicates to you that you have the wrong client, this is a big wake-up call for me. That you have the wrong client, there is nothing so wonderfully peaceful as saying, not with vengeance, not with passive aggressiveness, but just saying, hey, I don't think we're a good fit. And end the relationship. Not ugly, not leaving a trail of fire behind you, but just quietly say, hey, I don't think we're a good fit. What can I do to transition you to somebody who would be a better fit for this? Or we're just not a good fit and I honestly don't know who I could refer you to, but we need to stop because this is not working for either of us. And don't be afraid to say it. I will tell you, and I learned this the hard way because like all of us, this is one of those things that when you're an entrepreneur, you remember when you were just starting out. And you remember that every entrepreneur who had experience, and my biggest mentor, who was Angela Loria, would tell me thing after thing after thing after thing. And I would go, yeah, time after time after time, and really not believe it was the same for me. But it was. So this is another one of those things that as an experienced entrepreneur, you will tell every starting out entrepreneur about this, and they will yes you, and they won't do it until they learn it themselves. It is just one of those things. It's like learning how to walk. It's like learning how to eat. It's like a baby coming through toddler. Every single thing, you can't learn it by being told. You have to learn it by doing yourself. Think about pricing. Think about marketing. Think about financial certainty, making sure you keep your personal and your business accounts separate. All of those things. You have to learn it yourself. And I certainly did. I tried to hang on to many a client who was not a good fit for me. But when I started saying, hey, you know what? This doesn't work for you and it doesn't work for me. Let's stop. First couple times I did it in anger, to be fair. That didn't end well. But once I stopped doing it in anger and started saying, hey, this just isn't right, calmly, everything changed. I never again had to worry if I was doing my best that I was going to lose a client for doing my best. Because if I was going to lose a client for doing my best, then it probably means we're not a good fit. Because if the client had an issue, and if that issue is real, I'm now going to hear it, and I'm going to make the change, and I'm going to keep that client. But if it's truly something that's not also terribly wrong on our part, and just somebody who's not ever going to be happy with how we do what we do, it's okay to say goodbye and make it a happy and fruitful goodbye. And it does get so much easier. It really does. The first couple times were rough, but the other thing I learned, every time I got to one of these clients and I said in the third step, which is decide, hey, we're not a good fit anymore, I also went back, here's a pro tip, and evaluated when I brought them on. And in every single case, when I brought them on as a new client, some nit that was bugging me, some little thing I couldn't put my finger on that didn't feel right about taking them on as a client. And by paying attention to that, by literally doing thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, thing 3, I would listen, evaluate, decide. By going through that process, by not personalizing it, step 1, by getting through the theys in step 2 to my own issues, and to in the decision process saying, hey, you're not a good fit, I figured out what to do in the front end to not get that particular type of client anymore. And so now I got a much higher chance at not hitting a client crisis than I did a year ago. And a year from now, I'll have another better chance at not hitting a client crisis if I continue to follow my own advice. That's, of course, one of the things, isn't it? We often have trouble following our own advice. But that's the wrap-up for our client. Last week's episode, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. It's about client turnover and 3 things that you should do or can do to minimize client turnover and why. And then today we just went through there we go again. The 3 things to do in a client crisis. Listen, evaluate, decide. And remember, listen to hear the thing, not take it personally. Evaluate all the way through the days and decide. And sometimes that's going to mean saying goodbye. So that's 3 things to do. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'll see you next week. I hope that video was helpful, and I hope you subscribe to my channel for more information on finances in your business.